JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 24th of August 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, check us out here on jfdbank.com. And click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, guys. So the quick update, the first thing I want to check here is Nikkei. So yep, it continues to push higher here within this little pattern, which I've mentioned that it could be seen as a nice descending triangle. However, at the moment, yes, we are getting closer to this downside line, taken from the high of the 15th of June. So what I've mentioned previously, that in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside, a break of that downside line would be needed. So at the moment, we're just kind of playing a bit of a waiting game here. So let's see which way this one's gonna break out to. I mean, initially we had a level here. I mean, I had a level here near the 27,385, which we broke, and then I said my next target is going to be that 27,000 territory, which we reached, but we rebounded strongly from it, and now, like I said, we need to keep an eye on this downside line, just in case this pushes higher and breaks the downside line, then yes, we could consider some higher levels, guys. So at the moment, long story short, we're keeping an eye on this downside line to see if it holds or not. Shanghai Composite, so yep, managed to move nicely back above this upside line. So we can first of all get rid of it. Yesterday, if you remember, I said to you that if this this upside line provides, if let's say the index is not capable of traveling back above it, then maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing here a possible maybe head and shoulders pattern here. However, also what I've mentioned yesterday, that we always need to wait for that break of the neckline first before kind of considering that, or should I say, getting a little bit more comfortable with the with the downside, with, let's say, with this potential pattern. As you can see, it ignored that. I mean, it climbed back above this upside line, so now it's coming closer to this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 28th of June, and now we're getting closer. Like I said, now let's see if we can break it or not. At the moment, the index is still trading. We still have around 55 minutes left of trading or something like that. Yeah, in order to go for the upside, guys, I mean, a break of this downside line is needed. If you're a little bit more on the skeptical side, then maybe a push above the current highest point of August near the 3,544 level would be ideal here, just to kind of strengthen the upside scenario, because such a break here would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yep, some of these higher levels could be met. But let's go slowly on this one. For now, all eyes are on this little downside resistance line taken from the high of the 28th of June. The German index, DAX. So here we had a very interesting moment here. So we traveled higher initially, or should I say, we opened with a gap to the upside initially, but then drifted back down. However, the sellers were still not able to kind of keep or should I say, place the index into negative territory, and yep, we still remained in positive territory. And yesterday, if you know that the U.S. equities rallied, managed to the risk-on sentiment kind of came back into the market here. So we saw some of the cash equities of the European indices kind of drift following suit, and also drifting a little bit higher. So for example, the same DAX here currently is trading at around 15,880 zone, so basically slightly above yesterday's close, but nevertheless still below this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 13th of August. Now it's a short-term tentative one, but nevertheless still somehow is respected. I mean, if we get a break of that one and we climb above yesterday's high, which is roughly around the 15,930 territory, if we climb above that, then yes, we could go for maybe for that all-time high, which is around that 16,030 territory, which was reached here on the 13th of August. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. At the moment, like I said, we are at a very interesting spot. Let's see if we can break this downside line. If we can, then yes, higher levels could be met. Now, Nasdaq 100, so beautiful move higher here. We overcame already the previous all-time high yesterday, which was around the 15,184. We've hit a new one, reaching the area around the, let me just zoom in here a little bit, reaching the area around the 15,340 zone. If we take a look at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is kind of sitting just kind of near this hurdle. And at the moment, of course, everything's looking quite positive on this one. If you remember, last week I talked about these indices here, and basically I said that even though we are seeing strong declines at that point when I was talking about it, still those could be seen as temporary corrections. So, and this is exactly what I was saying. And yep, we saw a nice good push here, and we broke the previous all-time high, and we've reached a new one. Now the question here is how far can we travel higher? And the moment, of course, if we climb above that 15,341 territory, then of course, yes, the sky's the limit for this one, and we could just maybe aim for those nice beautiful round numbers like 15,500 zone, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. In terms of the downside, well, I would again, from the very short-term perspective, a drop below the 15,184 territory might kind of open the door here for some slower levels, but then we would still need to be very careful near the 21-day EMA, or but if you want to get a little bit more excited with even deeper declines, then maybe a drop below last week's low could do the trick here near the 14,773 level. And then we would take it from there. But at the moment, guys, everything's looking quite positive here on Nasdaq 100. The same story on the S&P 500 as well. So yep, good results here yesterday, good push higher. We managed to create a new all-time high, overcoming this previous all-time high at 4,480. The new level, the new high was near the 4,490 territory, approximately around here. The cash index is currently trading near that level, near that all-time high. So yep, as I said, let's see if we can push further north here, guys. If we can, then certainly yes, all eyes are going to be on that 4,500 zone, and then we will take it from there. The dollar index drifted heavily to the downside. It's of course understandable. The market turned to risk-on environment yesterday, and yep, we saw this nice decline. What I talked about yesterday was that even if, let's say, if we see a drop lower and we fall maybe somewhere below this 93.19 zone and get a hold up near this upside support line, then maybe yes, a nice rebound could be possible. However, if this upside line gets broken, the price falls below the 92.80 zone right here. At the same time, the index could be placed below this 21-day EMA, and potentially could open the door towards some lower levels, guys. And initially, of course, what I would be aiming here for would be this 200-day EMA together with the 100-day EMA, and then we'll take it from there. But again, that's in terms of the downside. As I said, for the downside, we need to see a drop below the 92.80 zone. Gold, so perfect hit. This is what I kept talking about throughout the last week and this week, that initially what I'm going to be aiming here for is this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 1st of June, which we managed to perfectly reach. So yep, that's a good result. Now again, this is the point where we need to take a bit of a careful approach, because again, if you want to aim for the upside, certainly a break of this downside line would be needed. But if you're looking for some downside, then a drop back below the 1,795.96 territory here might do the trick, because again, we would still need to see some more confirmation breaks lower, but that could be just a good start here. But again, like I said, to be a little bit more comfortable with the downside, certainly a drop below the 1771 level right here might be a better option. However, as I said, if we drop already below the 1796-95 zone, we'll start looking at the downside. However, like I said, there are obstacles underneath here, so that's the point where you would need to be very careful still, and it could still rebound, for example, from the 21-day EMA and go up again. So that's why, like I said, long story short, for now, yes, if this downside line continues to provide resistance, then certainly there is a chance for this one to drift lower. However, I would prefer to wait for some confirmation breaks on the lower side here. And then we'll take it from there. If we break this downside line, certainly, yes, this opens the door towards higher levels. We could maybe aim for that 1815 level right here, marked by the high of the 5th of August. If that gets cleared, then certainly this opens the door towards the highest point of July near the 1834 level. And then slowly we could continue grinding higher. But at the moment, all eyes are on this downside line. WTI oil, very quickly on that one. So yesterday I talked about this this commodity, and what I said, that if this area together with this downside, this area here near this 65.11 territory, and together with the downside line provide good resistance, then yes, another slide could be possible. However, if it breaks it, well, this is where maybe we could be due for a bit of a larger correction to the upside. So so that's why for now I would say yes, everything seems to be quite on the positive side, and so let's see if we can if that can play out here, and if we can see a further move north. What I'll aim for initially, this is where I need to adjust my levels slightly. What I'll aim initially will probably be somewhere around here. Let me just grab one of these lines. So this one right here, the high of the 18th of August here near the 67.47 level. That's in between the 100-day EMA and the 21-day EMA. So yep, and then let's see if we can get a further move above that. But at the moment, all eyes are going to be on these two EMAs, the 21-day and the 100-day EMA. And that's roughly, like I said, around that 67.47 level. If all that provides good resistance, maybe we could see another slide. However, at the moment, I will say be very careful on this one. I need to get rid of this downside line, no longer needed, and we can redraw the arrow here. So if it falls back below the 65.11 zone right here, maybe then yes, we could go for the downside again. But if it stays somewhere above this area, then well, I mean, a bit of a larger correction here to the upside might be possible. Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash is looking quite interesting as well. Looking a little bit more positive than negative, of course, but certainly anything can happen in the crypto world. At the moment, I would say it's pretty straightforward. Now, this is the highest point, the current highest point of August, near the 715 level. We're also trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 20th of July, and that means that we could be seeing here a possible kind of ascending triangle. but in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, certainly yes, a push above that barrier, above that 715 level would be needed, because such a move here would confirm a forthcoming lower low. For the downside, certainly yes, a break of this upside line is needed, and also a drop below the 653 level marked by the low the 22nd of August here could do the trick here for more sellers as well, if we get a break below this hurdle, and then we'll take it from there, of course. AUD USD, so of course the risk on environment is playing out well here for this pair, and yep, we're seeing a nice reversal back up, but let me just adjust a few levels here very quickly. So first of all, we found support here last week near the 0.7106 territory. We have managed to climb back above the 0.7222 level right here, which is marked by the low of the 13th of November. Certainly at the moment we are seeing a nice good recovery, and to be honest, what I'm going to be aiming here for right now will be probably this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line, because as you can see so far it kind of is doing its job, it's doing the trick, and well, it is kind of providing a good hold up sometimes when it gets tested. So and of course I'm going to keep an eye on this little short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 11th of June, which is not far from that 21-day EMA. So all this could be quite interesting to watch if it can get a hold up here or not. If it can, yes, another slide might be possible. If it cannot, then certainly a break of this downside line and a push above the 21-day EMA here could open the door towards higher levels. However, if you're a little bit more on the careful side, then maybe a push above that 0.7410 level here might do it for you here. So, but again, then you're kind of making the room for maneuverability here for this pair a little bit smaller. So that's why, I mean, like I said, I will start looking at some I'll start looking at possible larger correction if we break this downside line and climb above that 21-day EMA and stay above it, of course. So USD CAD, so certainly look after this Friday's nice beautiful pin bar here. You can see a strong reversal to the downside. Yesterday it declined heavily. Of course, oil recovered, Canadian dollar strengthened, yep, risk on environment prevailed, the US dollar declined. So and all this kind of gave that little kind of boost here to the downside, if we can express it, if I can say it this way. But at the moment, of course, looking at this picture, we might say that all this is just part of a larger correction here before another possible leg of buying. Well, we'll just have to wait and see here, because again, we're approaching this key support zone of mine, the 1.2605, which previously I looked at as a resistance. It coincides with the 200 and 21-day EMAs, and of course, like I said, this upside line is not far from there. So let's see if it can get a hold up here. If it can, then yes, a nice rebound might be possible. If it cannot, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers. So let's keep an eye on that one. GBP Aussie, very quickly on this quick update. So yep, drifting back down. Certainly, yes, Australian dollar became a little bit stronger overnight, and yep, that's the result we're getting. However, as I mentioned to you before, to be more precise, yesterday, that even if we see a bit of a correction here lower, all eyes are going to be on this little hurdle, this 1.8972 zone, marked by the highest point of July. And if it provides good support this time, then yes, a nice rebound might be possible. If it doesn't, well, we could go for maybe a bit of a larger correction to the downside. Certainly, then we'll have to just keep an eye on that 21-day EMA right here, and if that gets cleared, then yes, the next target is this upside support line taken from the low of the 10th of May. GBP NZD, so looking quite interesting here, and certainly the pair is now resting near this 1.9862 territory, not far from that inside swing high of the 10th of August. Another thing to mention here is that first of all, we can get rid of this highlighted territory, no longer needed. Now we need to kind of redraw everything here a little bit, but what's interesting here is that maybe, just maybe, we could see this nice little formation as a possible bullish flag, and certainly these patterns tend to break to the upside, of course, but I would still prefer, in order to go for the upside, I would still prefer to see a break above this psychological 2 level, and of course this 2.0068 zone, which is the highest point of July. We're not far from the highest point of August. The current highest point of August is near the 2.0075 level. Also, we can keep an eye on that one. So if we clear both of these levels, then yes, this is where the nice bullish flag pattern could be confirmed, and yep, we could see a nice move higher. Certainly, if you're wondering why not to, let's say, start from here, from the actual the upper side of the flag pattern, the potential flag pattern, well, again, we could see a move higher, but to be honest, I would prefer to see a break through the kind of, let's assume that it's pole, so the upper side of the pole, and on the current highest point of August instead, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, in order not to get this this whole pattern here as a possible range, because at the moment it seems like it could end up being like one. But again, let's not rush into anything. First, let's go step by step slowly on this one. And for example, for the downside, if it drops below the 21-day EMA, then yes, I'll aim for this upside support line again, taken from the low of the 7th of January. Quick update on Euro JPY, guys. So yep, we drifted back up. Certainly, investors started shifting to more riskier assets and taking away their yen positions. Yep, now we're seeing this. The result here is that Euro JPY is near its key resistance line, taken from the high of the 16th of June. If we clear that, then yes, this could open the door towards some higher levels, especially also if it climbs above all of these EMAs, or I wouldn't say maybe all, but the 21-day and the 200-day EMAs. If it climbs above that, then yes, we could start aiming for some higher levels, initially aiming for that 100-day EMA shown as the green line, or the 130.56 level, marked by the high of the 29th of July. So, long story short, guys, if you're looking for some upside, well, you'll just have to be a little bit more patient. If you're looking for the downside, to be a little bit more on the safe side, probably just wait for a drop below the 127.93 territory here, because a break below that level would confirm a forthcoming lower low. And finally, EURUSD, so a nice good recovery yesterday, of course, understandable. Dollar index drifted lower heavily, yep, that's the result we're getting here right now. Now, I would say that if it pushes further, let's say above that 21-day EMA, and this is probably where I need to adjust my level slightly. Previously, I've drawn this 1.1754 zone. However, I think the further we go, it's this is where the level can be drawn. So the 1.1767 level, that's the kind of, let's say, more comfortable level for the upside, because at the same time we would be placed above the 21-day EMA, and we could start aiming for that downside resistance line. Tentative, of course, but nevertheless a downside resistance line taken from the high of the 1st of June. Now, from the very, very short-term perspective, for example, for today, keep your eyes on yesterday's high near the 1.1750. That if we get a clear break through that, then yes, my next target, as I said, this is this 21-day EMA together with that 1.1767 level, and then we will take it from there. Like I said, if we clear that and we go for some higher levels, then yes, we could consider, like I said, a larger correction here to the upside. So guys, that's it for this session. I just wanted to quickly mention as well that there won't be any Traders Espresso on Thursday and Friday. We will resume again on Monday, guys. But yep, I hope you will have a. But again, join me of course tomorrow. Tomorrow we're still having one. So as always, yep, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day, guys. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.